Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Jelly Bean. He thinks every time I film he has to be on the camera, even when I'm doing ASL at home online. So thank you, Jelly Bean. And today we're gonna be doing the mid-year freakout whoop 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 2020 version, which is my first mid-year freak out on YouTube. But what a year it's been, guys. The world is going crazy. It's been quite a year. And maybe I will do a video about the year that I know most of us have had and the year that I in particular have had. And smash that like button if you'd like to have more of a chatty video about 2020 and the craziness that we're living in right now. Okay, so for those of you that don't know what the mid-year freakout 2020 is, it's the year 2020 and mid-year freakout. So this is taking place on June 11th. I'll probably post it within the next week, but it is talking about all the books we've read, the surprises, the disappointments, the best books, all that kind of stuff. So it's just different kinds of questions. The first question is basic. It's, what has been your favorite read of the year thus far? And this one took me a few minutes because I had 22 five-star reads and 90 books in total. So that's a lot. But because of some of the other books that I picked for other questions, I wanted to kind of keep my answers as diverse as possible. So these first two, being some of my favorites from this year, I think is going to surprise some of you. And the first one is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda. This by Becky Albert Holly. This follows Simon, who falls in love with Blue online. And Blue doesn't know who Simon is, and Simon doesn't know who Blue is in real life. And over the course of a school year, part of a school year, they fall deeper in love, and then Simon has to make the decision if he comes out of the closet and maybe meets the love of his life, or if he stays closeted and just lets this opportunity pass. I loved the mystery factor of this, trying to guess who Blue is, and it just has really great LGBTQ plus representation, which I don't think we have enough of in books. So that's why I picked that one. Jelly Bean. Okay, and the second one is really... Are you guys sitting down? You need to be sitting down for this because I think it's gonna completely it's gonna blow your mind. That's what I was trying to say. Oh, shh. Because I'm not really into contemporaries usually, and I especially don't read romance. And this is both. The Way You Make Me Feel by Maureen Gu. So I don't like mushy-gushy, over-the-top, fluffy books. However, Marine Goo wrote this perfectly. There's a little bit of fluff, not a lot, just enough for me to be interested. There's a rivalry between two enemies, and then they turn into friends over the summer. That's not where the love story is, but it's a nice part of the book. And then if you look at her shirt, there's a food truck on it. Her dad owns a food truck, and her enemy have to work on it for the summer as punishment. And then love comes along with her and someone else. You'll have to read it to find out, but oh my gosh, it was just so good. Alright, question number 2 is your favorite sequel. So, I don't read miniseries, but I have read the first 4 books of Harry Potter for the first time in my 27 years of existence. And since that's the only series I've read, and Chamber of Secrets was my favorite, or is my favorite so far, I still have 5, 6, and 7 to finish. But since Chamber of Secrets is my favorite, I have to use that as my favorite sequel of the year, even though it's the only one I've read. And then number 3, a new release you want to read. Honestly, I don't keep up with new releases. I don't buy new releases, like, hardly ever. I never buy new releases. I get my books at library sales at the end of the season for dirt cheap. I go thrift shopping, or I have gotten quite a few gifts from my friends. And me and my friends, before I moved, we had this thing where we would buy books, read them. The ones that we didn't want to keep, we would give to the next friend, and it would just kind of be like this gigantic, almost like a circle. But once you got rid of your books, they were gone. Then the other person's books would go to the other friend, and then that friend would give you her old books. And it was really fun. I was constantly getting new books, or new to me books. And now I live kind of far away, so we don't really do that as much at all. But I definitely don't buy new books. I get them cheaper at thrift stores or half-price books or things like that, you know, because, well, I'm cheap. I'm broke. I'm poor. Alright. Let's moving on. What is your most anticipated anticipated release for the next 6 months? Like I said, I don't really keep up on current events of what books are coming out and when, but there is one book that I know is coming out at the end of June or the beginning of July, but that is Riley Sager's new novel, Home Before Dark. Home Before Dark. And I don't know a lot about it other than Riley Sager. Yes, please. Haunted house. Yes, please. Thriller. Yes, please. I don't know why I'm doing that with my arm. Don't ask. So, yeah, that's what I want to read. Then there is your biggest disappointment of the year thus far. So, I don't keep books if I don't like them or if they're disappointing to me. Let me clarify. This was a 3-star read for me, so it wasn't bad, 3 stars is a good, solid book, but I was expecting 5+ stars, I was expecting the best of the best out of this book, and it just did not deliver for me. So that is, oh man, you guys are not gonna like me anymore. Oh, please don't be offended if this is one of your favorite books. It just didn't work for me. But if you liked it, I'm happy for you. So, my biggest disappointment of the year so far is A Curse So Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kemmerer. I know. Leave it in the comments, go crazy, whatever. But it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling with Harper and Ren. Harper is Beauty. She has cerebral palsy, which I love. No, she doesn't. She has muscle dystrophy. Sorry, I had to go look it up. It is cerebral palsy. I don't know what he's doing right now. But, I did like the representation of cerebral palsy, and I liked that Harper was a bad A, She was up to the max. And I really liked that aspect. What I didn't like, grab some tea, okay? Because the tea's about to be spilt. What I didn't like about this book, can I say everything? That's not true, though. There were aspects that I liked. I did not like the forced love triangle. I did not see the chemistry between Ren and Harper. And I'm sorry, but there's got to be chemistry if she's going to be the new princess of your kingdom. And I didn't see it. The first half of the book was boring and plain. And I just... I know everyone's going to be so mad at me, but I wanted to love A Curse So Dark and Lonely because, one, it was hyped, to the max. I was seeing it everywhere on BookTube. 2, Beauty and the Beast is my favorite fairy tale, and I really wanted a good retelling. And 3, I just really wanted to love it, just because. But I didn't. I didn't hate it. It was just a mediocre read. I'm definitely not going to continue on with the series because I don't see the point. But honestly, if I didn't have the audiobook, I would have DNF'd it. That's how much I did not like it. Alright, let's go to number 6. The biggest surprise in a book. So, I bought this book right here because I found it at Goodwill. It was cheap. This had been hyped on BookTube a while back because it's from 2017, so I'm a little late to the party. But I wasn't sure if I would get to it right away or ever. And then I was like, okay, it's cheap, I'll get it, and just say that I have it so there's no excuses as to why I can't read it. And then I did a reading taste test of Books and Lala, which I will link somewhere up here. So you can go watch it after this video. But this was one of the books that I picked. And I was thinking it's going to be mediocre. I'm not sure if me and Kayla have the same reading taste. And I was like, I wouldn't have read this if it wasn't for that challenge. But this was the biggest surprise of the year so far, reading-wise. And that was The Wife Between Us. I can't say a whole lot about this without giving major spoilers, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. This is a psychological thriller. It's kind of slow-paced, which I usually tend to hate, but I liked it in this case. There were some fast, action-y scenes, which were my favorites. But all I can say is expect the unexpected in this book. So, you follow the ex-wife of this guy who is now with this younger, prettier girl. And you kind of go back and forth in alternating chapters between what's happening now and what was happening in the past, and how it all clicks together later. And it was just so shocking. I literally, my jaw dropped. I was like, and I had to reread it, the ending, just to be like, oh my gosh. And it was just, it's not the type of thriller that's going to keep you on the edge of your seat. You're going to be like, but it's a psychological thriller. It will mess with your mind, and you won't know what to believe. You will not know what the truth is until it comes out. It was just so epic. So good. It was a 5-star read. It was amazing. Well, I mean, all the ones I've read that I'm going to talk about, I think were 5-star reads. Okay, and then number 7. Your newest favorite author. I actually have a female and a male author, so I'm going to talk about the female author first. She is not a new author at all. She kind of wrote classics. And some people label her as the Queen of Mystery. Do you know who it is? Put in the comments below who you think it is. It's okay. I'll wait for you. Did you guess? Alright. Time for the reveal. Agatha Christie! Dun dun dun! Did you get it right? I know you did. So, it even says the Queen of Mystery. This is, and then, well, don't worry about this book. But Agatha Christie is a mystery writer, a classic. And you know, I've even read a detective novel from her, and I didn't hate it. And I hate detective points of view. But she just writes the most cozy mysteries that you can just get lost in. And I love that. It's like a feel-good, guilty pleasure type read anytime you pick up an Agatha Christie. And then my male author is none other than Riley Sager. So, Riley Sager only has 3 books out right now, and he's working. His next one will be released at the end of this month or next month. I'm not 100% sure. And I have read technically 2 of his books, and I loved them both. I started his 3rd one, or I guess his 2nd one, but my 3rd one by him. And I honestly don't know why I didn't finish it. I think it might have been that a reading slump came upon me and I just didn't want to read anything, so I gave up on it. But eventually I want to read the 3rd one and his new one so that I can always know what Riley Sager is writing, because he writes such horrific thrillers. Riley Sager will keep you at the edge of your seat, biting your nails, and hiding under blankets, under pillows, so that you're safe. Oh my gosh. Whew, that's all I can say. But those are 2 of my new favorite authors that I discovered this year. Number 8 is a really easy one. It's your new fictional crush. However, I don't really crush on fictional characters. I got a husband. Not only that, I just don't see the thrill in it. Come on. Oh my god, guys. We might get Bella. Oh my gosh, we got Bella too. Oh my gosh. She's never in the videos. But this is Jellybean and Bella. They're babies. They're my babies. Alright, let's get back into this freak out. Your new favorite character. So I picked 2, but both of them were audiobooks. The first one is Hermione Granger. Oh my god, I absolutely love her. She's a little bit sassy. She's definitely a book nerd. And, like, academics are important to her. I think that I like her a lot because she reminds me a lot of myself at her age. So, I just adore Hermione. She could be my sister or my daughter, although I don't know. Let's see. She's like 12 in the first book. I'm 27. So I was just a really young mommy. Maybe? No? Okay. Fine. And then the other favorite character is from a recent read. Like, last week recent. So, for my second favorite character this year, I have picked Darby Thorne from No Exit, which is yet another thriller. But Darby is freaking kick-ass. She is amazing, and she's such a bad bee, okay? She's a bad bee. And I loved it. So, essentially, you're reading a book about Darby, who is stuck in a rest stop in Colorado with 4 strangers, and when she goes out in the parking lot in the snowstorm, she sees that there's a kid locked in a cage in the back of someone's truck. you know, so she has to try and figure out what's going on. And honestly, this book had so many twists and turns that I was biting my nails and just, oh, I had to cuddle with Bella the entire time that I was listening to this audiobook. That book is what nightmares are made of, and it was so good. But Darby wants to be the hero, and she thinks she knows it all, and she's willing to go above and beyond for the right reasons. You know, she endangers her life more than once to try to save a little girl from a horrific future. And oh, it was just great. It was amazing. Alright, number 10. A book that made you cry. So, there have been a few books that have made me cry, but I picked my top 2 for this. So, this one just wrecked my entire soul. By the time you read this, I'll Be Dead, by Julie Ann Peters. So, oh wait, this follows Daylin. This girl named Daylin who has tried and failed at committing suicide a few times. And she is planning it better. This time, she joined a website called BeyondTheLight.com, which is basically this big forum of other people trying to end their own life, and it's all the horrific things. I keep using the word horrific, I'm sorry. All the terrible things that have happened to each and every one of them that has made them want to die. And you learn a lot about Daylin and why she wants to die. And it was a heartbreaking story. But it's something that I think everyone should read about. If you don't read this particular novel, then read other novels about the impact of suicide. But definitely trigger warnings on this book for suicide, other things. And then this one was the first arc that I read this year, I believe. I think it was the first arc that I reviewed. I don't know for sure. But that is The Shape of Family by Shippy Samuel Goda. I'm very sorry. The Shape of Family. So I literally heard no one talking about this when it came out in March. But this was a heartbreaking family drama about tragedy and how it tears people apart. Oh, I cried so hard during this book, especially I cried, and it wrecked me. Like, I was trying to do videos, and I would just start bawling because I was thinking about this book again, and I just bawled for no reason. Just, oh my gosh. I urge you to pick this up. So good. Alright. A book that made you happy. So, for this, I have The Way You Make Me Feel, which I already talked about. The Harry Potter series, I've read 4 of them. I've read 4 of them, so I'm on number 5. But also, I also discovered Roald Dahl this year. He's a middle grade author, and he wrote things like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Matilda, and the BFG, The Witches, James and the Giant Peach. So he's a classic middle grade author. But I have read a few of his books now, and so far I loved every single one of them. But specifically, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory made me so happy, and it was just a whimsical adventure. It was perfect. Then, the most beautiful covers you got this year. So I picked two for this as well, although one of these you've already seen. Sorry. But they're dark and mysterious, and I just love them. So this is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. It's dark. It's surrounded by water. It looks like isolation. Love the creep factor on that. Then The Road by Cormac McCarthy. So I just love this because it's like a father and son holding hands in the darkness, in the like post-apocalyptical world, and everything looks so sad and so just like almost give up worthy. But do you see the determination in his eyes to help his son? Oh my gosh. So they are both great. And the last question, and I'm very sorry for how long this is. I didn't realize it was going to be this long. But the last question is what do you need to read the rest of 2020? So for that, I actually looked and wrote down all 20 of the 20 books I want to read in 2020, and I took off the ones that I've already read, leaving me with 7 books. So I only need to read those 7, and I was just going to show you 2 of the 7 that I have to read. So this one's from Twinkle with Love by Sahada Menon. This is actually kind of gives me Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda vibes, because Twinkle's a film student who falls in love online with a guy named N. And it's a big mystery of who she fell in love with. Yeah, so that's all I had to know about that one, but I definitely need to read it. Another one is Spin by Lamar Giles. This has been on 2 or 3 of my TBRs, and it is still unread. And I honestly don't know why it's still unread. But the premise of the premise of the book is that this girl, I forget her name, Paris is a DJ, and at one of the parties that she's DJing, she drops dead, and it's a big mystery of who killed her and why. So thanks for joining me for the mid-year freak out. Sorry it was so long. I didn't realize it was going to be that long. But I have done quite a bit of reading, and I cannot wait to continue my journey here on BookTube and my reading journey. Woo. Leave in the comments below how your reading year is going. What you're most excited to read next. What's been your favorite so far this year? Your least favorite? Anything, just talk to me. I love communicating with you guys. With that being said, all my social media links are linked down below. Come say hi and hang out with me. Hit that like button and subscribe for new videos from me. I usually upload on Monday and Fridays, if I could learn to talk. Not, life gets crazy and busy sometimes, so sometimes I forget, or I just do it on a different day so that I can have that other day available. But I am aware that you can schedule videos, but I don't typically. But thanks for hanging out. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.